Keep them applause going, D. OQ. Keep them applause going for this Grammy Award-winning producer and artist that's sitting in the studio with us today.
Yeah.
First full-fledged performer to be on the show in 2019.
Hey.
Damn, since we've been back on there, you're the first music artist of our. You're the first one we're interviewing this year.
Wow. I'm a part of history right now.
Who better?
That he is. We went over a few of the names as we always do when he arrives. BB, help me out. Fantasia, ASAP Rocky,
Jamie Foxx,
Kelly Rowland,
Usher,
Diddy,
Wiz Khalifa,
Fergie,
Mary J. Blige,
oh yeah,
MJB.
Natasha Bedingfield.
Did we say Fergie already?
You said Fergie. I know you got something for her.
She smiled at me. She was flirting.
Usher.
Chris Brown.
I said Usher.
You said Usher?
Yeah.
The list goes on and on. This
Beyonce, don't forget
Did nobody say Beyonce? Beyonce?
Don't forget the queen.
I was going to say that for the last one. And many more, including himself. The Fifth Element.
Wow.
Back in the day.
Oh, wow.
Turn the Lights On.
Wow.
Incredible album, Turn the Lights On, when he came by here and talked about that.
I got a question about that real quick. Usher started that record when he said "Turn the Lights On" because I just want to. Was that?
Yeah, that means I wrote it. If you hear any artist say "Turn the Lights
That's your
On,"
tag.
that's my
Yeah.
tag.
Turn the lights on.
We got the new album, Even Kings Die, ladies and gentlemen. Back on the show, the one and only Rico Love.
Turn the lights on.
Rico Love.
So that phrase is your phrase?
Yes.
You coined it?
I coined "Turn the Lights On."
You copyrighted it?
Yes, I own it. TTLO, and I own "Turn the Lights On."
Really?
So if you use "Turn the Lights On" in a musical, as far as just a statement, then you got to pay me.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I own it.
Even independent artists and
I mean, I wouldn't attack anybody for it. It's really, for me, it's just a formality. It's just something cool. I would never attack somebody for that.
I got
just think
you.
that's petty. But I just thought it was always cool to be able to own it. And I asked my lawyers, was it possible for me to own it? And then I went through all the proper procedures, and they sent me a certificate. I posted on Instagram once, and it was like, cool, I really don't, promote certain things like that, but I just was proud of that moment to be able to say, like, you own that. You own TTLO. That's yours.
Rico Love, ladies and gentlemen. Shit. So much about you that folks don't even know, which is really interesting. So many trials and tribulations you've been through.
Yeah, man.
But all they do is see you fly in a video and know that you work with so many people. They don't really understand like some of the adversities you've had to face.
Yeah, the making of a man, I think the making of a king is the adversity. I don't want to I don't want to do no business with or hear about anybody experience anything with anybody who hasn't been through something.
Right.
Because I need to know that when the shit hit the fan, we're going to be able to have somebody with us that's going to be able to fight through it and has been through it and not going to panic. And I just believe in that. And I've learned so much about myself in these past few years about adversity. I used to think that you be a good person, you work hard, and you remain, I hate the word humble, but you remain, for lack of better words, humble, and everything will work out for you. And I realized that in life, that's not always the case. And sometimes great people get this shit into the stick. So understanding that and saying, all right, cool, I understand now that everything's not going to come up roses for you just because you're a good person. Now what do you do?
Right.
And that's the making of a man, and that's the making of a king. A good friend of mine and my manager now, Mams Taylor, he always would talk about king amongst men. You got to be a king amongst men. And that was always his slogan. And I always held that because it's like a king amongst men, no matter what. He living or dead, that your legacy is going to mean much more than the average person. Doesn't mean you're better than anybody. It just means that I'm a king. You're a man, but I'm a king. So we're going to move and we're going to function differently. I'm going to be revered in a certain way. I'm going to be respected in a certain way. I'm going to be honored in a certain way that's not on your level.
That sounds like
I understand
better,
that. No, but better means that I deserve different treatment. That's why the album has to be clear. The album's called Even Kings Die. So regardless, that's what makes us all equal, is the fact that, I'm going to be revered. Beyonce's not better than me, but if she walks in right now and say, hey, I'm sorry, guys, but I can only do this interview right now.
Yeah. Rico, can you step to the side for a second? Rico, hold up, man. Rico, you want to ask some questions of Beyonce?
Exactly.
We're going to turn you into a journalist.
Exactly. And I would have to honor that because
Right.
she's not better than me as a person, but she's revered in a higher regard at this particular time.
Got you.
And we have to honor that. So I think that one thing that we all have in common is death. One thing that we all have in common is adversity. One thing we all have in common is if we do something to somebody, sooner or later,
it's going to come
it's
back.
gonna come back.
Hello.
And that's the whole concept and basis of the Even Kings Die project.
That's interesting because even in how the intro start, you know, and some of the commentary, I want people to get the album so they can hear it for themselves, and even the interlude in the middle of the album talks about some of your dastardly deeds. I don't know if that's you in particular, if it meant men in general. Let's talk about some of that, the process. When did you say you learned so much about yourself, which indicates it was things you didn't know? Mm-hmm. People don't know that you've been going through a lot of court proceedings.
Yeah. I was sued a lot these past few years. You know, sued for millions and
for
things,
what though?
For things just
like give me an example.
You have people in place doing business for you who are not thieves, but they're just not particularly well versed in these things. Mm-hmm. You have to understand when you first start getting money. CPAs are scary. Business managers are scary because when you watch 30 for 30, you see everybody says, my accountant robbed me. Mm-hmm. This person robbed me. So I didn't hire proper representation because I just wanted to go with people I trusted. Now, these people you trusted are good people, and I would never slander them, but sometimes people aren't equipped to handle this type of money.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need somebody in your corner to say, when I say book a flight, they're not going to just book the first flight they see. They're going to say, let me get a deal for you. Because when you're looking at millions in an account and you've never dealt with millions before, you're going to operate the way you think millionaires react. But if you deal with somebody who understands how this thing goes and you're booking $12,000 flights at the, you know, for when you don't have to. You know,
did that happen?
Yeah, it was certain things that was going on that I needed somebody in place who was able to say, don't do that. We don't need to do that. And sometimes you go in imagine you go in a jewelry store and you just say, yeah, I want that. Yo, cost, blah, 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 and let them take care of it. But what I thought was nobody works harder than me. I'm here every day. I'm in the studio every day. I'm never late for a meeting. I'm never late for an interview. I'm professional. I'm kind. I'm polite. I work with great people, and I surround myself with positive energy. I'm thinking bad things cannot happen to me because I was always taught that if you do these things, you're going to continuously be blessed. But I had to understand something. Sometimes we become planted, and that doesn't mean you buried.
Right.
You plant it. So people saw the seed and they look at the seed and say, this is an incredible seed, not understanding that when bad things happen, they thought, that he's buried, he's done. No, I was planted. So I had to go through all these things, not meaning it was bad. It was necessarily I was supposed to go through these things to bury me, but it was just like I had to get grounded in a certain way. So that now when you get watered and you come and you flourish into this oak, people look at it like I had no idea that this thing could become this because I was already at this small thing. Yeah. I was already impressed with the fact that you were an incredible seed. And the fact that this seed turned into an oak, now I'm even more impressed. Now I'm like, wow. So everything that happened to me negatively, I hope it's an example of who God is in me and who God can be for everybody else. Right. You know?
How much did you pay out in those lawsuits?
I think for over the past few years, it was in $1 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you have to fire friends?
I think people removed themselves. You know, over time, you start seeing people remove themselves. It was just like what happens is too when things don't work out for you, people find a way to separate themselves. It's not even like having to fire somebody.
Yeah.
If you've been providing for so many people for so long, and then things ain't working out the same for you, they're gonna look for the next person that's gonna be able to take care of them. So a lot of times people will say, "Oh, I was abandoned," but you have to understand if my whole relationship with you was based upon what I could do for you. How could I even be upset with you walking away? Because we didn't have an equal partnership. We didn't have an equal relationship. So most people around me, producers signed to me, guys who work for me, they were only there for what I could do for them. So I hate when people make these like, yeah, they left when I didn't have what you expect. Your relationship with them wasn't equal.
That it was based on that.
We weren't equally yoked. We were based upon what I could do for you, and that was the extent. If I work for a corporation, that corporation folds, why would I stick around? Yeah. My relationship with this corporation is based upon me doing the work and them paying me. So as soon as they can't pay me anymore, I got to go on to the next thing. This is not a true friendship because it's not about, and even though I've done things outside of the parameters of business for people, parents die, I'm paying for funerals. People, brother go to jail, I'm paying. People need a car, buy them a car. People about to get put out their house, I put out their house. No company's doing that for me. Warner Chapel is not coming to get me when I need some help. And that's not what they're supposed to do.
That's not what they do.
Exactly. So if I do that for other people based upon, I can't expect a loyalty back from them because that's not what they do. They're not equal. People are survival mode most time. So how can I be upset with them? In retrospect, you look back at the beginning, you look around and you say, damn, nobody stayed down. But it's like you didn't have an even relationship with them. Your relationship was what you could provide. You don't provide that anymore. Keep it moving.
Rico Love, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get into this album in a second, but I'll be remiss if I didn't talk about what everybody's been talking about, surviving R. Kelly. And it's such a complex issue. Mike Muse, who works with us, said this isn't going to be settled in one conversation, one topic. It's not going to be settled in a 30-second soundbite. There's so many layers you got to peel back about this. Heather and I and Tracy, we've been talking about it going in. So many people really revered and loved that dude to the point that, some of those things that he was doing in his private life, people chose to be were oblivious to, or for whatever reasons, it was okay to collaborate with R. Kelly, so on and so forth. You even went to Twitter and
I made a humongous mistake, so I want to make sure that I make it very clear. I had not watched the show. I get on Twitter and I see a few people attacking some friends of mine because they had stated that they loved R. Kelly's music. Mm-hmm. I posted a tweet that says, it's nothing that can make me unlike 12 Play or TP2 or the R. Those are incredible bodies of work, and my ears are my ears. Right. I like what I hear. And people attacked me, but they assumed that I was saying it after I had watched the show. The show was still on. It was in the middle of the show when I posted the tweet. So obviously I don't respond to people saying anything. I made an official statement afterwards on my own, but I'm not going to respond back and forth with people who I don't know.
What was the statement you made?
What I said was, in error, I commented on his gift, but it was inappropriate at that time and insensitive at that time, so I apologize. But my intent was not to offend anyone or to make an excuse for who he is, the monster that he is, and the things that he's done. My frustration at the time before watching the show was that, we watched a video of him peeing on a 14-year-old girl. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he put out Ignition, and we always forgiven. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking to myself, well, how could this show be any worse than that? So and that was and please, when people hear, you have to understand, if you're saying to somebody you're wrong and they say to you, I am wrong, I accept that, you either have to accept their apology and move forward and say, yes, we converted a person who was saying something, or you have to come to the realization that it's deeper than me and how I feel, and you're just angry at me or angry at men or angry at whatever. Yeah. And you have to understand that if you are saying to me, I'm trying to convert, if I'm dealing with a white supremacist and I talk to them and they say, you know what, you're absolutely right, and my ways and my views about white supremacy were wrong and I want to correct that, I have to then move forward with that person. If I still condemn them for the ways they thought and the things they said, then I have to come to the understanding that this had nothing to do with what they said. Is about me being angry and getting out what I have to get out. So I want to say this again. What I said was in terrible timing. And if I was to do something wrong to someone, no matter what I've done. Imagine if I raped somebody's sister and somebody came to my rescue and said, yeah, but he wrote There Goes My Baby for Usher. Yeah, that's true, but that's not what we're talking about right now. Right. Yeah. So what I said was, the timing was horrible. In my defense, though, I would say I had not watched the show. Yeah. And it was in the middle of me just watching people online attack people who were in love with his music. So again, I don't think it's in good taste to publicly glorify his gift. No matter how you feel about his actual gift. Yeah. I just think it would be in poor taste, even if you're saying, I'm right, he is a great writer. Okay, cool. Leave it alone. So anybody out there listening who's saying, my argument is not that he's a bad person, I just think he's a great writer, just leave it alone. Yeah. Just shut up about it.
Right. Let it go. It ain't your space. We been knew that part.
We already, it would not be a 6-episode show about this man if he wasn't a genius. Okay. So let's just leave that alone, walk away from his accolades, and just focus on what's important, is the fact that a lot of people were hurt, and let's get away from that. I need proof. It's too much. It's too much. No. I don't want to. Let's just get away from it. Let's just be, fair. You can't.
This is a catalyst to me too. Like, I've already moved past him. Well, not moved past him, but I want to utilize this to inform and for us to keep this dialogue going, because it's not just him. You got clergymen, you got politicians, you got uncles, you got cousins,
Elvis.
Okay, and you got other artists who are running around here doing similar things. Wow. So let's keep this conversation going, and so we could work to get to a better place with it. I appreciate you coming on this show and being that transparent about what happened and understanding your views on it now. Took a lot of us a long time.
And I would like to say this. I respect and value everything about women empowerment. I respect and value everything about women standing up for themselves, and I respect and value about everybody pointing out victims. But I think that we have to learn to pick our battles properly. And we have to understand that we can't attack everybody who says one thing that you don't agree with. You have to educate them. You have to walk them through, because I can tell you everything about what I mean. I can't tell you how it made you feel. So educate me on how it made you feel instead of attacking me and making me on the same level as a monster because I said something that was inappropriate at the time. Educate me and approach me with love and say to me, that's not, listen, pull me to the side. I had my good friend D-Town was like a brother to me, and he pulled me to the side and he said, Rico, I want you to understand something. That was wrong, bro.
Yeah.
This is somebody who I love and I trust. He didn't come to me and say, yo, you fucked up. You a rapist too. No.
Yeah.
No, you don't love your daughter. That means that you would let somebody rape. No. Say to me, at this particular moment, that's not appropriate, and let me show you why. Because what's going to happen is when you keep going against power in a way that's not informative, and you have to understand, as a black man in this country, you will see.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They will come back to you. They will come at you. And why not get to the point where we can approach things? Some people need to be fought. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
Some ideas need to be fought and aggressively fought. But there are some people who are potential allies who you will scare away. And what will happen is you'll come at them and now they will be silent. They won't say anything. You know what I mean? You'll say one comment and they'll be like, oh, they'll Matt Damon you. When they came in Matt Damon was like, okay, you're on your own, ladies. Ben Affleck made a comment. Okay, I was trying to say something. And then they said, well, you did it. And okay, now I got to shut up. So you have potential allies that can help your cause. And you could, and obviously even me saying that's going to upset certain people.
Speak your truth.
But it's the truth. And at the end of the day, pick, understand that you don't have to fight everybody. Some people really want to help you.
Rico Love here. He got the new album, Even Kings Die. He got a song that got an appropriate title to what we're talking about, even though the content of the song is different, called God Forgives.
Yeah.
And this is a really potent song, one of my favorite songs on the project. Talk about that, God Forgives, and what made you title that, and what does that mean?
It's basically saying, like, if my daughter ever felt the way about me as her mother, that would kill me. Because God forgives, but she won't. So if it was play off of God, Rick Ross's album, God Forgives, but I don't. But it was my way of saying, I wish I could correct everything I did wrong to hurt her. And since I cannot correct those things, what I want to say is, I hope my daughter don't hate me like her mother did. Like if I can do anything in my power to be the man for my daughter that I couldn't be for her mom, I want to do that. Because what I put her through, when you're on top and you're getting so much money and you kind of can get ahead of yourself. You could feel like, and that was what Turn the Lights On was about. That's why I said I'm still paying for the shit that I did on my first album.
Yeah.
It was like, it doesn't matter if you've reconciled. It doesn't matter if you've changed your ways. There are some things that some people can't get over, even when they say, I forgive you. So in your mind, you might think to yourself, are we good?
Yeah.
We moving forward in a positive direction, not understanding that we didn't properly address this. We put a Band-Aid on a gunshot.
Right.
And what you have to understand on a gunshot wound, and what you have to understand is we have to be honest and transparent with our music, especially when it's difficult to communicate with the ones we love. Because sometimes people don't know how to express themselves. So you're in a situation where you want to talk about these issues, but you can't. So what I did was with the album was I said, I want to say everything that I'm feeling right now because I need to release this in some way. Yeah. Because there's some things I just didn't feel comfortable sharing with people. So I just put it in the song, and it made it, it made it easier for me. So that's a bit of honesty I think a lot of men can go through, because even in your change is things that you regret and you look back on and think, damn, I wish I could have been the person I am now then, because it was too late for me. I said on a post, I said, men lose the women they love because we grow mature. We grow older and wiser, but they grow tired. So at the time, I think that most men, the woman that he's really supposed to be with, he probably won't end up with her. Yeah. Because the time that you be able to come to your senses, she's already over it. Bye. And also, it's a lot of people around who are around her who telling her, and it's so many other things and the factors and variables that's telling you, he did this to you, he did this to you, he did this to you, he did this, because they don't see all the good things. Yeah. All they see is what you did wrong. And I understand it. We're human. It's just like if I go through my comments and everybody's showing me love, the one thing that's going to stand out to me is the negativity. Yeah. Right? The one person that say your son's, your daughter's ugly. You're like, what? Damn, yeah. thousands of people say how beautiful she is. This one troll is the one thing that upsets me, and I think that sometimes those things happen in relationships and with people.
Yeah.
So.
God forgives. Rico Love, man. Y'all want to talk to him, 888-742-3345, man. I appreciate you, homie. Rico Love. Wow, we got Stephanie on the line from Texas. Good morning, Stephanie.
Good morning, guys. So I wanted to just piggyback on the fact that if you live your life and you're a good person, bad things won't happen. And I love you for saying that. And the oak tree reference, I love that as well. I consider myself as such. And the world, society, and circumstance has broken me down. I called in when Gary Owens was there, and I'm a veteran.
Okay.
I was out one night partying, just having some drinks, being goofy as I always am, and making fun of this girl that had her head down because she was drunk. I was telling my friend, at least you're not this girl. She can't even hold her liquor, blah, 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 blah. The girl woke up and attacked me. I defended myself, and she died. I am now on trial for murder.
What? Wow.
I lost my federal job. That was 10 years towards my pension. I had my daughter visiting her dad at the time for the summer. I told him to keep her away from all of this because it was in the news. I didn't want her to see that. I didn't want her to be attacked. The family of the lady that passed has been attacking me, and I didn't want that for my child. But my whole world has been turned upside down. I can't get a job. I used to make $60,000 to $80,000. I just was fired from a call center making $8 an hour because I was joking with a girl. She said, if you keep talking about something, they're going to take you out of here. And I said, I'm going to leave here swinging. They called me a terrorist and fired me.
Wow. I mean, there's a lesson in every action. What have you learned in this that you can share with folks?
That you should exercise your right and freedom to walk away. That was my instinct, and that has always been my instinct. I turned 40 years old last year, and I don't know what it means to back down. I've never backed down. I have the heart of a giant. I had all boy cousins and uncles, and they used to DDT me. They taught me how to fight. Even my grandma is a thug. Like, we all go hard in the paint. But that doesn't mean that has to be what it is forever, because had I just
walked away,
this wouldn't be my life right now. I'm about to have an interview at a tire center. I have 3 degrees, and I'm trying to be customer service for a tire center because of that.
There's a lesson to be that you're learning right now in this moment, Stephanie. And you got that child. Somehow you got to stay strong through it all.
Absolutely.
The fact that you're sharing this right now, you're probably helping a whole lot of people, preventing them from making similar choices that could lead to where you are right now. I wish you the best, Steph.
Yeah.
I wish you the best.
Thank you.
All right, and thank you for sharing that story. I know what compelled you to call. Perhaps what Rico was saying. Rico Love is here.
Yes.
But thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
And we wish you well. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Randy's on the line from D.C. What up, Randy?
Hi, Randy.
Hi, everybody.
Hey. Say hello to Rico Love. He's here.
Hey, what's up, Randy?
Yes, Rico. Hey.
Hey.
Everybody
Hey,
else.
hey.
Sorry. I just wanted to say to Rico, I truly, truly, truly love your music.
Thank you.
Turn the Lights Off was like my favorite album and still is. And it really, at the time when you put it out, I was going through some things, and almost that whole album spoke to me completely. And I am so super glad that you have an album coming out. I've been waiting. I'll tweet you here and there and be like, okay, so when you coming out with some songs? Because I'll even hear Turn the Lights Off on somebody else's song. I'm like, okay, so he's not going to sing it? He's not coming out with it?
Yeah,
so
but
I'll be
you
waiting.
Can you can get the album right now. Even King's Die is available in all formats right now.
I most definitely will.
Okay.
Thank you. And I just want to say thank you for your music. I love it, and thank you for your words. I wish I could have heard the whole episode today because I came in on the tail end of it. But I'm so glad you're out there doing what you need to do and learning from mistakes and everything. Are you planning on doing any more collaborations or anything?
It's a nice interview right here, Randy.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing a lot of stuff. I'm working on a lot of different projects. I'm executive producing Big Crit's project. Working with Usher on his new project, and it's just a lot of writing I've been doing. A lot of new artists, hood celebrity, French Montana. Like
Hood celebrity, all right.
I'm staying active and staying busy doing what I do.
Okay, and then is T? Can I say what you told me?
Yeah.
Okay, so T.I. is gonna jump on the remix of God Forgives.
Yeah, T.I. gonna get on the remix of God Forgives, and T.I. and myself we've developed a television series, so we've been putting it all together, and we've been, it's really been developing in a forward motion. So I'm excited about that.
You on Love and Hip Hop?
No, I was just on the episode.
Oh, okay.
They asked me to kind of they always ask me to be like the music expert and ask questions about music. I always tell them if I'm ever going to be involved in any of those shows, it's got to be based around music and production and writing and artistry, not
fights and
not fighting and messiness.
Right.
Yo, who was that said they was the king of R&B?
Jacquees.
Yeah.
Yeah, you agree with him?
No. But what it is, in this day and age, you got to market yourself the way you want to market yourself. And it's, why am I offended by somebody proclaiming something about themselves? Do I agree with that? Of course not. But he's a kid, and he's just trying to figure his way out. He's trying to do his thing. And, it was a time in my life where I would have took extreme offense to that. But we're in a new day and age where maturity. People just want to say what they want to say, and they want to do whatever they can to market themselves. And I just want them to consistently put out content and consistently do what it takes to really be that for real.
Yeah.
But if it's on my bio, it says a billionaire. I'm not currently a billionaire, but I'm pointing myself in the right direction. So for him to be upset with him for proclaiming something, I just hope that he does the proper action to make that a reality.
Yeah,
and not just be a person who says it.
Yeah, I wasn't mad at him. I knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
you ask any rapper who's the best, they didn't say them,
you would have a question.
Well, you ain't gonna say you, dog.
Exactly.
Exactly.
People think they got the best looking girls too.
It's definitely a lot of work that you got to. It's a lot of work you got to put in to even claim close to that though.
Yeah.
And he has not done that work.
He hasn't done the
at
work.
all.
But he's done a lot of work, but he ain't
that work to be even in the conversation. But at the end of the day, do what. No, seriously.
Yeah.
That's just the truth. But at the end of the day, do what you got to do and promote yourself and your brand the way that you want to promote it. But just do what it takes to make that a reality and put that work in. Then it's honored in the long run.
Rico Love is here. New album.
Even Kings Die.
Okay. Man, we do a fun thing sometimes just to get people's personal opinion on certain topics and subject matters, and we got a game that we call
Battle of the Best. Ooh. Okay, you're rich, you're famous, and you're probably pretty good at what you do.
I'm gonna show you how great I am.
But we want to know who you would pick between the greatest matchups of all time. It's the Battle of the Best on Sway in the morning.
That boy is good.
All right, so you talked about people who need to put in work and prove that they are good at what they do.
Yep.
I put together a list, a bag full of the greatest producers, and you have to pick two at a time and figure out who you think would be the best.
Okay.
This is pretty good, man. Rico Love is here. He's so transparent right now. He's going to be honest.
Who's the first one?
First one is the Neptunes.
Oh, wow. That's tough.
Damn.
Second one?
Timberland. What?
Oh, my God.
Dang.
That's a party.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
That's
That's a regional competition.
Oh, my God. VA right there, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You picked those two, man.
This is tough.
That's
all right,
one.
so Timberland is like a mentor of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Pharrell is a mentor of mine. Extreme, can I tell a quick story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was in the studio. I used to work at the studio Circle House. I basically owned Circle House when it came in for
Miami?
years. I was in the A room for years straight, every single day. And then Pharrell had the room in the back, and he had the C room, the cabana. So Pharrell would just come by every day and just play me stuff. So one day he says, I want to play you this idea that I did for CeeLo, but I don't think he's gonna do it. So I want to play you this idea. And I hear the song and I'm like, this is amazing. Like, what is going on? He played me a bunch of stuff. And he's like, yeah, I'm working on this thing. I was like, can I be involved? He said, no. I just wanted to play it for you. So I was like, what? So he said, yeah, I'm trying to get CeeLo to do this record. I was like, oh, wow, that's crazy. And it was Happy. Oh. It was fucking Happy, bro. Wow. And it was talking about the Despicable Me soundtrack. And I thought he was playing it for me to say, yeah, I need you to help me.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, no, it's done. I just wanted to show you how cool I am.
Okay. But I'm
going to say And Timbaland is incredible. So the only reason, as far as production and sonics, is not many people who have the ear of Timbaland. But the reason why the Neptunes are gonna have to win this for me is because you got the entire record self-contained. Pharrell is doing 100% of records. Like Pharrell's writing and producing. So with them together, when you put them together with Chad and with Shay, you know, like it's like with Shay and Chad and Pharrell, it's like it's almost like you triple teaming a guy.
Yeah.
So not to take away from Timbaland his genius, but you understand he's outnumbered right there.
All right, let's go to the next round. That's a good answer, man. Damn, man. Let's do a show right now.
Second round, who you got? First
Mark
one?
Ronson.
Dig deep.
Dig deep.
Tough. Oh, it's easy. Quincy Jones.
Oh, yeah. Well, damn, Mark.
That's
Sorry,
not
Mark.
Sorry, Mark.
Let's go to the next round. We don't even got to.
That's
No,
a
Mark.
do-over.
Yo, Mark would have voted for Quincy, I'm sure.
It's like LeBron James versus me.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis and my big brothers. They
that
my
would have been
mentors
great.
too. You know, this is making me realize how many cool mentors are. Oh, and Teddy Riley.
Oh, wow. Damn. Yo.
He thought he had an easy one.
Yo, he was excited. He was like, oh, this gonna be. Yeah, like Mark Ronson again. Mark Ronson again.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
What? All right, if we just talk about Janet Jackson's catalog alone.
Hello.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But then he did Remember the Time. You know, he created New Jack Swing. Like he created an entire genre. But then you start thinking about Jam and Lewis, and all right, you'll go to a Janet show and you'll be like, no, this is getting ridiculous at this point. Like, you know, I went to Janet Jackson concert and I was like, is she kidding me right now? All of these hits, and that's just her. But then you got to think about Teddy, who created an entire style of music that transcends. Oh, by the way, Jam and Lewis records are timeless as well.
Yeah.
They all could come out today and be hits number one around the world. But for Bruno Mars to recreate the entire New Jack Swing and not miss a beat, you're like, you know, I'm not trying to say he nailed it, but nobody's gonna nail it. You know what I mean? But he did an incredible job. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna go. Damn, it's hard, man. I'm gonna go with Teddy Riley, just because. Only reason I'm gonna say Teddy Riley, and not because he got more hits. It's not about that. What I say is he created an entire sound.
Yeah.
He created an entire, you know. It's just like,
and Bruno thanked him on the best album Grammy that he won.
Yeah, of course he did.
For inspiring, like you're saying.
Of course he did.
Like,
and when I said he didn't, when I say he didn't nail it, I wasn't meaning as a jab to him. I'm saying it's difficult to be Teddy Riley, but it's a great to do. You know, he did an incredible job.
Rico Love, man. I appreciate that, man. That's battle of the best. All right, cool.
But let's be clear, the catalog of Jam and Lewis is just ungodly.
It runs the depth of it. People aren't even familiar with the depth of that.
They don't even understand how deep it goes. So it's not about the numbers.
Yeah.
And by the way, Teddy got numbers too.
Yeah.
But for Teddy to recreate himself time and time again, like just the fact that you were able to form Guy and Blackstreet.
Yeah.
Come on.
Damn.
And then this is your battle of the best. That's what you feel, regardless. Yeah. So Rico Love is hanging out. Man, he got another interview after this?
No.
Man, can you hang out with our next guest?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Who we got coming up, DJ Wonder?
Mark Rebillet, is that correct? Rebillet?
Yeah.
Mark Rebillet. He's quite an interesting guy. We're gonna have to see what Rico thinks about his musical knowledge.
Okay, that's what's up. Rico Love hanging out, man. He got so many
song.
gems right now. One of the songs on this album that's gonna get you up and dancing. It's really hard. You know, it could work in the club, the strip club, and in your car system. It's hyper. Sway in the morning. Shade 45. It's Rico Love. Even Kings die. That album, man. Get that new album. It's out now.